For this occupational therapy portfolio, I'm going to be finding my patient's heart rate, respiration rate, and blood pressure. First, I'm going to do respiration rate. A way that I can do that is I can have my patient place one of their arms over their chest like this to put their hand, near their opposite shoulder. And one way to do this is you want to find their respiration rate, which is how many times they breathe in a minute. You can do the whole 60 seconds, or you can, the way that I like to do it is do it for 30 seconds and then multiply that by 2 to get 60 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and I want you to just breathe normally, and I will let you know when you can take your arm down, okay? Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, so you may put your hand down. For that, I counted 7 breaths in 30 seconds, times 2 is 14, and for an adult, respiration breaths per minute should be between 12 and 20 breaths per minute. Next, I'm going to find my patient's heart rate using 2 different locations. The first one I'm going to do is at the radial artery at the wrist, and the second one I'm going to do is the carotid artery in the neck. So again, I like to use the 30-second method and multiply it by 2, but I tend to set my timer for 35 seconds to give me some time to make sure I have it and can feel it, and then I start counting at 30 seconds. Okay, so first we're going to do the radial. Okay. Okay, so I got 35 beats per minute. Times 2 is 70 beats per minute, which is pretty good. The average for an adult is 60 to 100 beats per minute. So next we're going to do the carotid artery at the neck. Okay, at the carotid, I got 34 beats per minute, which brings us to 68 beats per minute, so really close. Should be about the same. And yeah, again, the normal for an adult is 60 to 100 beats per minute. Now I'm going to be finding my patient's blood pressure. So you can see I already have my patient situated, set up with the blood pressure cuff. It's important to have the right size blood pressure cuff, as it can change your findings. I want to make sure that I can fit 2 fingers underneath the blood pressure cuff, and I want to make sure that my patient doesn't have their legs crossed, as that can also change my readings. So the first thing that I'm going to do now is I want to find how high I should pump the sphygmomanometer up to, as I don't want to pump it too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the radial pulse. There we go. And I'm going to pump up the sphygmomanometer, and wherever I note that the radial pulse disappears is about going to be around my systolic number, but to be sure, I'm going to pump it to 20 to 30 millimeters of mercury higher when I'm actually taking her blood pressure. Here we go. Okay, so her radial pulse disappeared at about 110 millimeters of mercury. So I am going to go ahead and pump it while taking her blood pressure to about 130, 140. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself situated, and I'm going to place my stethoscope over the brachial artery at about the cubital fossa. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm turned all the way to the right, as that closes the valve and allows me to pump up the blood pressure cuff. Okay, so I got 102 over 68. And for an adult, your top number is going to be your systolic number, and it can range from 90 to 120. And so I got 102, and the bottom number I got 68, which is your diastolic number, and that can range from 60 to 80. Your systolic number is the first sound that you hear. That's your top number. And the last sound that you hear is the bottom number, your diastolic number. So your blood pressure in a seated position right now is 102 over 68, which is good.